When communicating with audiences, we want to have an impact on them. We want to affect how they think and how they feel. We want to influence their opinion.
To learn how to better write, communicate, edit and design content, like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.
One of the most effective ways you can do that is to present an argument authored as an opinion article. In newspapers and magazines, these appear as a comment, analysis or opinion article authored by a named individual or organisation. Or they can appear as editorials that don't carry any byline or an author name. Instead, they present an argument on behalf of the publication. In the same way, you can personally author an opinion article or publish one that speaks on behalf of your company, business or organisation. Written articles that try to convince audiences are often called Op-Eds. The name Op-Ed derives from an article published on the page opposite a newspaper editorial, not because they can be opinion articles or editorials. An op-ed is an authored article that represents a strong, informed and focused opinion of the writer on an issue of relevance to the target audience. They usually begin with an opening hook that grabs the reader's attention. Op-eds also have a clearly defined topic and theme. And this last point is crucially important for factual storytellers. Although they may contain the author's opinions and viewpoints, op-eds are usually grounded in objective, evidence-based research that supports an argument. It's that evidential support to the opinion that makes it convincing. Like all engaging content, opinion articles conform to a structure. Opinion articles include an introduction. First lines are important in op-eds to again grab the attention. Often op-eds begin with a strong claim, a surprising fact, a metaphor, a mystery, or a counterintuitive observation that entices the audience. Op-eds all have a topic. The topic is the person, the place, the issue, the instant or thing that is the focus of the op-ed. And this topic is often stated in the first paragraph. Op-eds also have a theme. Now the theme is the big overarching idea of the op-ed, the point of writing it, and why it's important. The theme can appear early in the piece or later when it serves as a turning point in a developing argument. And op-eds all include argument. The ongoing story will cite evidence that supports the author's viewpoint. For the op-ed to convince, evidence is usually marshalled in favour of the author, with contrary evidence introduced but to then be dismissed. And that adds to the impression of a fairly reasoned argument being made. And op-eds have an ending, an outro. Opinion articles can finish with what are known as open or closed endings. Open endings usually suggest a conclusion, but leave it up to the audience to decide what they believe, having read the article. Closed endings state a conclusion. They remind the audience what they should think. Closed endings resolve the point of the article, and they're actually the most common that are used. The following is an immensely powerful opinion article published in the New York Times in 2018. It includes all the elements we've just discussed. The introduction and hook and topic. President Trump is facing a test to his presidency, unlike any faced by a modern American leader. It's not just that the special counsel looms large, or that the country is bitterly divided over Mr. Trump's leadership, or even that his party might well lose the House to an opposition hell-bent on his downfall. The theme. The dilemma, which he does not fully grasp, is that many of the senior officials in his own administration are working diligently from within to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. First person authorship. I would know. I am one of them. Author's opinion. To be clear, ours is not the popular resistance of the left. We want the administration to succeed and think that many of its policies have already made America safer and more prosperous. Development of argument. But we believe our first duty is to this country, and the President continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. The opinion article then goes on to make powerful argument. Originally, it was published by the New York Times as an anonymous op-ed essay. That was a rare step for the publication. It did so at the request of the author, who was a senior official in the Trump administration, but who did not want to be identified for fear of losing his job. In 2020, Miles Taylor, who left his position as Chief of Staff in the Department of Homeland Security, made public his authorship of the article. Now, we're not interested really in what the article says, but how it says it. And regardless of its politics, it remains an excellent example of a well-structured opinion article. A few characteristics differentiate a good op-ed from a bad one. A convincing article from one to which little attention will be paid, and an op-ed that's likely to be commissioned by national and international media from one that is ignored. The following is excellent advice about how to produce a good opinion article, taken from a short guide that was first produced by Jeremy Hillman, who was then Director of Corporate Communications for the World Bank Group. Be topical. Your piece needs to be newsworthy. That might mean creating it quickly if it's pegged to a current event, rather than subjecting it to weeks of editing by committee. The biggest grumble from commissioning editors is about pieces they receive that aren't connected to what's happening in the world right now. Be opinionated. You must have something to say. Make an argument. Your piece needs to make a case and take a stand on the issue it's addressing. It may even put forth a set of new principles or ideas to fix a problem. Be personal. Op-ed editors are always looking out for something with personal experience and a personal story to tell. People on the ground can bring a level of insight that policymakers or academics can't, and local credible sources or witnesses stand out. As Jeremy Hillman says, if you write about the general problem of prisons in the United States, the odds are that it will seem all too familiar. But if you're a prisoner in California and you've just gone on hunger strike, now that we would like to read. Be plain. Junk the jargon. Write in your own voice. If you're funny, be funny. Don't write the way you think important people write, or the way you think important pieces should sound. Be informed. Commissioning editors often see pieces with the strong opinions they want, but without the data and facts to back them up. Be counterintuitive. This is a really important one and mentioned by several op-ed commissioning editors. Be ingenious. Be surprising. It doesn't necessarily help to be famous. In fact, the bar of a commissioning editor accepting an article may actually be higher for the people who are famous because they already have the means to get their message out in other ways, such as elected officials or heads of state or corporate titans. Be lean. The average published op-ed is only 600 to 800 words. Don't write much longer. Concise arguments are more impactful and memorable. Now, all that advice is relevant whether or not you need to pitch your content to a commissioning editor, or you're able to publish your own opinion article onto your own platform, such as your company website or a personal blog. A well-argued and well-structured opinion article is one of the best ways to communicate your message and influence how your audience thinks of you and your organisation.
All you have to do is like and subscribe to this channel to watch the full course of more than 90 videos for free, or visit Amazon to access the 450-page Factual Storytelling Handbook.